Mayhem, murder, treachery and court battles. Another week in South African politics. With me is Solly Moeng, political commentator. Welcome, Solly.
Hello, Chris. Thank you. Lovely to see you.
You are welcome. 4 political parties have now joined in a constitutional court bid to try and overturn President Cyril Ramaphosa's impeachment committee interdict.
Yeah, I think it was going to come at some point, isn't it? I think the pressure is going to keep growing. I think a lot of people were quite surprised by the court allowing Ramaphosa to win a case on the basis that his reputation would be harmed. We had this discussion before. What reputation? Why do other people have to go through this and he doesn't? So, but on the other hand, I think people might say, look, the hearing of the actual Netta in terms of Palapala is going to happen in September, which is not too far. Why not wait? So it's going to be interesting to see whether the court is going to say, guys, please just wait 1 more month and then this thing will be ventilated in the court of law, or whether they pass it. Everything is not on substances. It's basically on technicalities, on process. This has become very normalized in South African politics. This use of courts and lawyers to push things further down the road or make them disappear. And it also shows that if you have money, you can have justice, at least on technicalities. If you don't have money, you don't get to play this game for as long as these politicians are able to do so on public funds.
In a development that might be related to Palapala, a murder investigation into the death of General Sindile Mfazi, who was apparently investigating an unauthorized undercover operation to cover up wrongdoings at high level.
Yeah, this is so painful, Chris. Whenever this sort of thing happens, I always ask myself, what else do we not know? Because everything that we see is really just the tip of a huge, massive iceberg. I'm sure there are other bodies, dead bodies all over the place, of people who said, I cannot support this, or I'm going to report this, or this is not the right way to do things. But it's a good thing that it's emerging. It's hopefully as the truth gets dragged out of these people. Look at Andrea Johnson. I mean, this lady is like, she could have come in there mindful of the position that she occupied and just told the truth, but she didn't, because it seems like that she was involved in some of the stuff, and she had taken sides, as it were. And the somebody like this gentleman was killed. Everybody thought he died of COVID, and suddenly it's emerging that no, there was something. And it's a good thing that his wife said, wait a minute, this is very suspicious. This body must be exhumed so we can check exactly what happened. And now it's coming out that it was much bigger than simple somebody dying, getting sick and dying.
It appears he was poisoned. Well, it's wonderful that after all these years, the truth is emerging. You mentioned Andrea Johnson. Is she throwing other IDAC investigators under the bus now? And was IDAC running an operation to counter the Matlanga Commission?
Yeah, clearly it's appearing so, isn't it? They were going after, so they used the information they got from Adams, the Colored People's Party leader, to extend their investigation or their assault on other crime-fighting bodies, specifically the political killings task force. For whatever reason, we still don't know why they were going after these guys, but it seems like the look is closing back to the public announcement by Mkhwanazi to say, hey, there's stuff happening in this country, and this is where these are some of the indications of what is happening. Now, the truth is being forced. It's almost like, have you ever seen people trying to pull a snake from a hole, and it's like holding it by the tail, and slowly the snake is coming out of this hole. I think a lot more is going to come out. And I really hope that the role of Mkhunu, who's sitting there enjoying his perks at home while he's not doing anything for this country, I think that the role that he played and the motivation behind him and doing the political killings task force will also come out. These people will stand up and say, okay, this is what happened. They have to do it for the Republic, for South Africa. And this is the painful thing, because all these guys occupy such important positions, and we've spoken about it again. But they are not doing it for the country. They're not doing it for the people of South Africa. They're doing it for their own bosses. So are they forced to do this thing? Are they paid to do this thing? I mean, are people being blackmailed? We don't know, but somebody has to. And all of these names that are yet to be mentioned, they have got to be mentioned. I mean, all this evidence, the hearings, of course, have to happen behind doors because there are important names that must not be named. But those people must be named. At some point, the country must know who has been doing what behind the scenes at the expense of all of us.
Meanwhile, another brave whistleblower has been murdered. Accountant Martha Rantsofu from Emfuleni.
Yeah, I remember the video was making the rounds, on social media as usual. I think she was waiting at a car repair or tire repair center, and somebody just came and boom, boom, boom. It's very painful, and it's again people, South Africans, who have decided one way or another that they're going to put their bodies between hell and what is good for the republic, and it's just a pity that people have to be killed first before they, finally months later the perpetrators get caught. Even then, we still don't know who paid the perpetrators, because a lot of times, these people who pull the trigger are not the people who are at the source of the killing, who want the people dead. They're just people looking for jobs, or suddenly there's a whole industry that has been set up where you get given, I don't know, 2,000, 10,000, and depending on where you're at, to go and pop somebody. But we still don't get to the kingpins behind these killings. So many of these killings, we see the people who pulled the trigger being arrested, but we don't see the people who ordered the killing. And that is the painful part. And these are the people who often have to be named only behind closed doors. And it's absolute nonsense. South Africans to stand up and say, it's enough. Stop playing us. Name these people. Let us see these people being fried, staying in prison forever.
Healthcare matters, but what matters most?
Having cover for the people who keep this business going.
Bonitas is there for you when it counts. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. Visit bonitas.co.za and find your plan.
Well, at least we're seeing one former cabinet minister in the dock for corruption, former Defence Minister Nosisive Mapisa-Nqakula. How about the 300,000 Rand for wig money and the 250,000 Rand for patkos, Solly?
Yeah, I have no sympathy for her. I have no sympathy for people like her and others. But I also, if you really think about it, people who work really hard for their money don't go around giving money to politicians in brown envelopes. It's the tender system again. If you really work hard for your business, you're not going to start putting money into envelopes to go and give it to politicians and this. It means that people are overcharging for government services to the point where they can go around and buy 5, 6, 7 Maseratis, crash homes all over the world, and at the expense of the people of South Africa. So I think that we need to not only look at the politicians who are taking this money, because of course some of these tenders are given on condition that you take care of me, I'll come and knock at your door one day. Don't make sure that the door opens for me. That this stuff happens, but I think that people who do this, they are the ones who feed the beast. I have no idea at what point the lady who accused the minister, the former minister and speaker, decided, you know what, I'm going to speak out, because it seems like she had already been given money to this minister, and at some point something changed. Maybe the relationship soured, and she decided to spill the beans. But the point is, she didn't spill the beans the first time she was asked to pay money. And there are many, many others out there, people who look clever, smart, intelligent, who speak well, who pay bribes to politicians, who overcharge for services. This thing has to stop. BEE, I know that it's wrong. The way we're doing this thing, it has to stop, because it is the source of so much evil in this country. You know what? People in government must be told, you want to buy tires for your department, you want to buy plates, you want to buy this, go into the open market. Okay? Let people compete, service providers compete openly and get the best service providers. This thing of paying middlemen and middlewomen for videos they do not add, just to go there and bring you something that you can get yourself and charge you 3 or 4 times the amount, it's absolute nonsense, total nonsense. So I really hope that those politicians in government who still push BEE lose elections and new teams of politicians come in and come up with a different system. That is not BEE. We cannot keep doing things the same way over and over again and expect different outcomes.
There is utter management mayhem over at the Public Investment Corporation. Former CEO Patrick Dlamini fighting his suspension, Deputy Finance Minister David Masondo's resignation, Harvard board decimated.
Look, you might recall that now Deputy Minister of Defence Bantu Holomisa had been speaking out against things happening at the PIC. The truth is, if you were to dig further back, even from the beginning, during the Mbeki era, when Brian Muleke was CEO, and even during, I think that a lot of things are going to be found there. I think the DA is absolutely correct to say, wait a minute, let's talk about the governance of this thing. Let's ensure that it's not managed or controlled by politicians. Let's find suitably qualified people with the right kind of experience to manage this thing. It's massive, more than 3 trillion rands being managed by this thing, and you just put political employees to determine what goes where. It's nonsense. And the previous CEO who had undone, remember, there used to be, now I think they brought it back again, there used to be 2 positions, the CEO and Chief Investment Officer. One of the former CEOs decided to collapse the positions into one, which was a big mistake. So, you do need this church and state separation between who makes the decision and how the decision is made in terms of investment, but also these unlisted investments. That unlisted investment portfolio is a bit of a problem. So we need more governance, whether it's this or the Road Accident Fund or other government institutions that run big money. We need to buffer them from political influence and overreach, which is often very, very toxic. It's happening at the PIC. It's not just about a matter of appointing new leaders, the new board or new CEO, whether this one manages to win his court case to return to work or not. We need to have a conversation about governance at the PIC going forward, because it's being used, it has been used, no one can deny this, to feed criminals, rent seekers, people who shouldn't be getting money out of this fund. And it's just stop. It just
And then more melodrama, or weekly melodrama at former President Jacob Zuma's MKP. What do you make of his money-grabbing move to take control of the party's finances?
I think Zuma is being Zuma. Maybe that's the best way to put it. Zuma is being Zuma. Look, that party is in trouble. It was always going to be in trouble. If you have somebody like Zuma who has failed as a president to run a political party, and we know his weaknesses, money, and control and patronage. Those are things that are out there about Zuma. So I suppose he decided, okay, look, I'm not having sufficient control over where the money goes in this party, and so I'm going to basically put back everything into my little bedroom and control it from there. I don't see the future of this party. It's probably good for South Africa. I mean, look, we do need many voices around our political table. There's no doubt about it. We are such a diverse party, but we cannot glorify individuals who in the past have behaved as Zuma has. This man literally gave South Africa on a platter to the Guptas. People don't want to talk about that. And if he does it to his party, it doesn't touch public funds, it's fine or not fine. But these are people who are in a National Assembly who are pretending to be speaking out for governance, against corruption, against abuses. But their leader is Zuma. I mean, it's hard for me to look past Zuma to look at these men, to take them serious. These men and women who glorify Zuma today. It's very hard for me to say this guy still has to be charged for state capture. He was the kingpin of state capture by all reports. He was at the center of everything that happened. So if they think that the MKP is going to, how to say, to launder his image, to make it more acceptable, obviously they failed, because Zuma will always be Zuma. And what he's doing with the party finances, Zuma is being Zuma.
Thank you. That was political commentator Solly Moeng speaking to BizNews. I'm Chris Steyn. Thank you, Solly.
It's a pleasure.
Start your day a step ahead. BizNews Insider. It delivers the business stories that matter every morning straight to your inbox. Sharp, fast, and free. Subscribe now. In uncertain times, good information is priceless. The BizNews conference is heading back to the Drakensberg. Join me, Alec Hogg, from the 11th to the 14th of August for BNC 9, Champagne Sports Resort, where it all began, and where our community gathers for honest conversations, smart investing insights, and direct access to some of South Africa's sharpest minds. Come and rub shoulders with the best we've got. 28 keynote speakers, 3 days. Seats are available now. Book your seat by clicking the link in the description.